I'm back, obviously, and I wanted to let me tell you what happened. Let me explain. Let me talk. So I was watching a K drama. I was on the first episode of a K drama called "We're All Trying Here," and it has one of my favorite actresses, like of all time. So I was like, okay, let's see. I kid you not, like 10 minutes in, I'm like, this is incredible. This is really good. And I like you know that feeling when you're watching something you're like, this is gonna be really good. I felt that for so many K dramas, and I was like, let me try to like let me make an experience out of this. So I started like recording myself watching the TV show, and now I'm gonna try my best to use these recordings to to really put you on and to really take you through my experience of this K drama, right? So we start with our male lead, Dongman, right? Actually, we start with his friend. The POV starts with his friend, and the friend is like in a bar and he's talking about how he wants like he's thinking of making like a TV show about killing really annoying people because of one of his friends, Dongman. And then we get introduced to Dongman. Dongman, from the very second I met him, I said, wow, you're annoying. He's very annoying. Like, he's so annoying. He's so annoying. And I'm watching this and I'm like, to explain. Basically, my reaction after that scene, right, of them showing us Dongman, we are then introduced to the female lead character. Forgot her name. Nabi? No. I'll Google it and I'll put her name. But we're introduced to her. We don't know much about her, but right now she just seems like a quiet, stoic, kind of like nonchalant, maybe depressed character. And we're like, okay, that's our kind of our introduction of her. You know, possibly depressed. We don't know. But then the climax of this episode occurs, and the climax basically is Dongman, all of his friends are filmmakers, right? He's a filmmaker, Dongman. He's a filmmaker. And as a filmmaker, he is obviously going to the premieres of his friends' film debuts, right? And trilogies and eulogies and all that stuff, right? He goes to the movie that his friend is making. Mind you, he doesn't have a K-drama, a movie, a short film, nothing. He doesn't have any of these three things out, but he's a director, or he wants to be a director. Right? But he's been working on the script of a film called Weatherman. And Weatherman is something he's been working on for, I think, they said 8 years. I'm not too sure, but I think maybe 8 years, right? And nobody, no television place has picked this up. No production company has picked it up because it has like a bad script. And he's been working on it for 8 years. Nobody wants to develop it or pick it up or make it into a film. Okay. His friend now is on his third film, I think, and he goes to the release party and he's like, "This is shit." Like you're saying, no, he can't. Yes, he goes there and he says, that movie was shit," and that actress, terrible. You're in front of people. Secondly, the only person in this friend group who likes him is this one guy, ne, who's also he's made his debut film already. But this one guy is the only person who likes him. But I don't like how he spoke to him in this scene. He's drunk, he's obviously a mess, and he's basically saying that like, I don't know, he wasn't being nice to his friend. He was a drunk mess. I was just embarrassed by him the whole time. He ends up leaving, right? After like doing this patronizing move to his friend who died there to celebrate. He's like, but not with a smile. He's like, he taps him on the shoulder. He's like, and he goes like sarcastic, right? Like sarcastic tones underneath, and then he ends up leaving, and I'm just like, thank God, because he was embarrassing me. So we then get introduced to the new scene, and this time, Dongman is called by a producer who is a friend, I guess, of his other like director friends. And he's thinking, as he's going there, that this producer is going to like say, okay, I'm gonna pick up your movie, let's make it. Wrong! To be or not to be, not. And that's not what happens. That's not what happens at all. He goes there, and the female lead. Now I have to tell you about this female lead and her relationship, right? This female lead, as much as I can tell, in the beginning of her career, she was very cutthroat. Like if a script was bad, she just say it's bad, terrible, and that was it. And that was what like her boss liked about her. But over time, the boss got, I would say, insecure. He got insecure because people would really prioritize her opinion over his, and that led to him being insecure. And I guess he started disliking the very trait that he liked her for. I love turtlenecks, but I hate them at the same time. Sorry. He started disliking the very thing that he liked her for, which is like typical man behavior. And because of this, like the relationship is strained. He mistreats her, honestly. Like it's a case of workplace bullying, generally. Like workplace bullying. Like he undermines her and he does all these different things. So then he calls her into the room where the director is, right? And he's like, I want you to give me your honest opinion on this, right? I want to see if you still have that cutthroatness about you. And obviously her wanting to keep her job, she goes in and she's like, it's a bad script, this is wrong with it, this is wrong with it, this is wrong with it, this is wrong with it. And Dongman, our male lead, is just sitting there listening to this criticism. And I was like, oh my gosh, you called him just to insult him? And then after that, I'm thinking, okay, what done? Like, cut. You know what I mean? Because as you can see, I was in shock. I was thinking that Dongman was gonna beat someone up. He doesn't. And I was like, huh? Girl, wrong. He proved me right. Because this producer guy sits there and he says, your films aren't good, all these different nasty different things. And I'm like, Dongman is gonna beat you up. And guess what Dongman does? He goes up like a fucking karate kid, like, I love him. Like, he's entertaining. That's what you need, to be entertaining. Like, oh, what else do you need in life? Episode 2 begins. And this is the point where I was like, okay, understandable. Remember when I told you that he went to his friend's release party and he was like basically insulting the movie? So his wife, who's also his friend, sits him down and he says, listen, we've all been tolerating you for all these years. It's enough. You stop coming. We don't want you to come anymore. You're annoying. Stop coming. And I was like, because he's really annoying. My only critique with this, and I'll show you later, but my only critique was, you could have done this years ago. Dongman has been annoying. And now you're gonna tell him in this really, in this mean but brutally honest way that you're annoying and we don't want you here anymore. You could have done this years ago. Or actually, you could have just said like, hey, like, you're really insulting, being around you isn't fun, I'm sorry, but please stop coming. But you were not aggressive, but you were really mean about the way that you said it. And I understand why you were mean, but it's like, girl, this could have been resolved this could have been resolved so long ago if you had just said like, hey, dude, you're really annoying, stop it or leave, right? But you don't communicate, and now you're gonna be this really mean person. Then in episode 2, introduced to Dongman's brother, and he comes off as this very standoffish but like aggressive kind of guy, kind of aloof, like no social skills, right? But can I just say, he ended up being one of my favorite characters, but I won't go into it for now. But he ended up being one of my favorite characters. So as I thought that Dongman's brother maybe didn't really like him, but seeing that made me go, he wants you to make something of your life, but he also won't let you be bullied. Like yeah, his brother, he loves you, but he wants you to make something of his life. It's been 20 years. You don't have a job for 20 years. And I have to say, at this point, I know nothing about our female lead. I know who she is, but I know nothing about her other than she lives with her grandmother. To be fair, it's only episode 2, but I'm gonna show you just now, I was confused about who is this? What is your purpose? What is your plot? Where are you going? With Dogman, it's clear. Your end goal is this movie. Whatever happens, there's gonna be lots of things that happen throughout that, but the end goal is the movie, right? Her, I don't know. Do you wanna like quit? Do you want to like be a really, really, really successful producer? What is the goal? What is the goal? I don't know. I don't know. But at this point in the episode, Dongman saw the female lead, and I thought Dongman was gonna be upset, because I think he's a petty character a little bit, right? But no, instead he says, because one of the critiques that she made to him was his main character doesn't have any power. So then he just goes, he looks at her, like they met by chance, and he's like, what is power? Where can my character find this power that you think he doesn't have? And they have a conversation, and they start being closer, actually. Throughout the episode, they become friends, or friendly. They become as friendly as two introverted loners can be. Remember in episode 1 when I told you that Dogman's friend released a movie? So Dogman's friend released another movie? I think it's the same movie. So this movie that Dogman's friend had released, nobody likes it. They're shitting on it, that they say it's bad, blah 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 blah. And Dogman leaved like 50 billion fucking comments under this review, the movie reviews, saying this is shit. And he messages the group chat, not knowing obviously that his friend is still in the group chat, but he messages the group chat and basically shits on this guy's film after he's already facing so much criticism online for his film. And it's like, and obviously chaos ensues. So I want to let you know that throughout all these episodes, Dongman is still going to like different producers to like ask them to like make his movie, getting rejected, blah blah blah. All this is going on. Our female lead Una, whatever. She's being harassed still. I wouldn't say harassed, but she's still having a tough time at work. And we also learned that she gets these nosebleeds whenever like she feels this undescribed feeling that she describes as a feeling of self-destruction, right? And she gets these nosebleeds, and they both wear an emotion watch that tells them what feelings they are feeling, right? This emotion of hers can't be placed, that the watch doesn't know, right? So she describes it as self-destruction, right? And that's what we start. Now we're learning more about her now. She's a complex character, okay? She has emotions and stuff and blah 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 blah, right? Fine. So obviously Dogman and her are now closer. Dogman invites her to his home, I think, to eat. And then she meets his brother, Dongman's brother, other brother, and they have like a really nice conversation. And again, we find out more about her. She tells us something that makes that she'll reference later on, and that'll just make you go like, oh, that's why. Because otherwise, because what I'm hearing is, my dream is to be like a good mother. Which I'm not saying is a bad dream, but I just didn't expect it from her. I would think her dream would be work related. You know what I mean? But she wants to be a good mother and wife. I was like, explain that. Explain that to me. Why is that? You learn later on. One thing you're gonna realize as I'm speaking. Also, the camera angle changes. Ignore the camera angle, girl. Who cares? Anyway, one thing you're gonna realize about this show is all the characters are so interconnected. And it makes sense. They're all in the same industry, in the same country, in the same city, right? They're all in Seoul, but they're also interconnected. Remember the movie Dongman? I told you Dongman was shitting on, and you're saying the actress couldn't act. So now Dongman's friend, the same friend who I said is the only one that likes him, is making another movie, and he takes it to our female lead for her to like proofread and say what needs to be fixed. He does that. I mean, she does that, sends it back to him, and then he sends it that script to the same female lead or the same actress that Dongmun is shitting on, and then now the she doesn't like the script. She says it's bad, so then she comes to meet our female lead and Dongman's friend who worked on the script together to basically say like, why would you give me this shitty film? You know what I mean? Maybe it's like a thing, and that's supposed to apologize. But our female lead, being the person that she is, doesn't apologize. Cause when will you ever see Une apologize? That's my girl. That's my bitch. My ride or die. My number one. That bitch doesn't apologize. Apology? Where? You are not one hit wonder, but she says you box yourself into these characters and it's not good or something. I don't know. She's just talking, guys. I don't know. You'll see what she says. I'll show you. Yeah, but I understand what she's saying. You must understand what she's saying. This plot gets like more interconnected and interconnected by the second, because now we find out that Una's mother is actually a really big top actress within the industry who actually works with her boss indirectly. Whatever. Her boss is, she works at a producing company. So that producing company produced the company that Una's mother is in. But yeah, Una's mother is a really big actress. Really, really big. And Dongman somehow, coincidentally, met her years ago, and he's been like a fan of hers ever since. He really admires this actress, Una's mother. But he doesn't know that because Una's mother apparently abandoned her and her father years ago, and this caused some psychological issues for her. The first time she ever got a nosebleed was when she went to school after being abandoned by her parents, because her father left and her mother left. Her father eventually came back, but you know, they both abandoned her, and she took herself to school so that people wouldn't like notice that she was abandoned. So yeah, and this next scene I'm about to show you, I was interpreting it differently, because to me Dongman is like this unknown actor. He's walking into the room of this top actress to say, you know, I didn't know what he was gonna say, to be honest, but he's basically like, I love you. I don't know. He says some stuff. I don't even want to like. It was too embarrassing. I know. My job is to watch, so I can tell you. I understand that. I couldn't do it. I had to turn off the volume and bring down the brightness. I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. It was too embarrassing. But just know, he basically said something good and like he kind of impressed her. I guess like he impressed her in some way, shape, or form. Not she wasn't very impressed, but she was like, oh, okay, yeah. He didn't say anything like really, really embarrassing. Let's say that, but it was still embarrassing to watch. Oh. So let me explain episode 8. I think this is episode 8, ne? So basically, I've told you what happens up until now. You know how the story is progressing. Now I have to mention another plot line. Don't be lost. Come, be found. I'm finding you. Anna, remember I told you, works at that production company. So she had a boyfriend who now we find out was a director, or wanted to be like a director student, right? She apparently worked with him on this script, right? And he like to make this really good script. This script is really, really good, and he takes it to a producer. The producer being the friend, remember Dongman's friend whose movie he was shitting on? The wife of his friend who told Dongman to fuck off. Right? Now, she is picking up the movie that Nga's ex-boyfriend wrote with Nga. But nobody knows Nga wrote it because he refuses to credit her because he's a piece of shit. I hate him. He's disgusting. He's a slob. He might be the worst character in this whole fucking thing. I hate him. But sidetrack, whatever. She wants to pick this up, write this movie. But she says, hey, go to the person that you wrote this with, because she can tell that he did not write this. Someone else wrote it with him. She's like, go to the person you wrote this with and talk about crediting her or whatever, just so it doesn't cause problems later. He doesn't want to credit her. So then he goes to Una and he says, I won't credit you as a writer, even though she probably wrote most of that script. I won't credit you as a writer, but I'll put you as like a producer or like a co. I don't know, but he'll put as something small, like really, really, really small, like a really small part to play. She's like, no, you either put me down there or you don't get shit. Beep. Right? So fine. This producer, the wife, don't get lost. The wife, right, who wants to produce this movie, gets a top actor. Right? And aren't you in this world, the top actor is this guy and Una's mother. They are the top. Okay? So okay, fine. But again, like I told you, everything in this TV show is interconnected. This actor, the rumors about him that he harasses younger staff and younger actors and blah blah blah, right? So him and Dongman had an interaction a long time ago in which Dongman basically like critiqued him and was like, yeah, a really bad person, just things like that. That's what I'm getting. They had a run-in, it was bad. He doesn't like Dongman doesn't like him, but Dongman finds out that she is gonna cast him in the movie she wants to produce. Dongman obviously doesn't like this, and Dongman, so they have a conversation, blah blah. They convince him to come onto the movie, right? Of the boyfriend of Una's ex's, right? Una's ex's boyfriend. They convince this top actor to come into the movie. They go outside to say their goodbyes. Dongman comes, and in the scene prior to this, like this actor was saying, he likes people with a strong handshake or whatever. Dongman comes and he's like, shake my hand. Because I think he wants to like prove that like he's a good person or like a trustworthy person. I don't know, girl. Dongman. Dongman is like a really confusing character. I get really confused. There was even a scene prior to this where Dongman goes into the restaurant and they told him not to come because they didn't want him to be there because this actor doesn't like him. And they want to like convince this actor to come into the movie. He comes into the restaurant. I'm thinking he's about to do the typical Dongman thing, walk into the room and start swearing off the actor. No, he just goes to the bathroom. And then like he climbs out the window so he doesn't get spotted. I was shocked because this isn't like Dongman. Dongman is destructive. I can't pin him down. He's not predictable. I really can't pin him down. I try to say he's gonna do this. He doesn't do it. I'm just like. So then we come to one of my favorite scenes in the whole TV show. One of my favorite scenes. But I need to give you context before I give you before I tell you about the scene. So remember that movie that the Dongman's friend's wife wanted to make with the Una's ex? He ends Una's boss ends up stepping over her, going to that guy and saying, make it through us. Make that movie through us, not her. Right? He's like, okay, fine, I'll make it through you guys. He betrays this girl, this lady. And then the Una's boss, right? Both of them like are producers, kind of. They have producing companies. He's like, listen, I'm not gonna cut you off completely. Let's do it together. Let's make this movie together. Right? She's like, why would I make this movie with you? Like, it's fine. I'll make it on my own. Like, I got the script. I got this guy's script. I can make it on my own. He's like, listen to me. I already talked to him. He wants to do it with me. So I'm giving you the opportunity to also do it with me. Because he's already gonna do it with me. She's like, oh. So you wanna talk about mothers? She goes, fuck you, fuck him, fuck the both of you. You can make this movie together. Bye. Yeah. You can make this movie together. Fuck the both of you. Right? She goes to the company in which she got the script from, and they say, okay, listen, I know this happened. You can do the second runner-up. It was like a competition. Una's ex won the number one prize, and Dongman won second place, right? Okay, fine. She's like, who's the second runner-up? They say it's Dongman. Oh. She's like, no thank you. Because she already knows that Dongman's script isn't good. But it was improved. Dongman's script was improved because he got, I forgot to mention this, he got help from Ina to improve his script, right? And he's been improving it, right? So it's better now, which is why he got second place. So then she's like, no, I don't want to. So fine, whatever. Now back at the restaurant she owns, in which he was kicked out of. They said he can come back like a few days ago, right? And he's invited back into the fan group. Okay, fine. He's invited back, and he basically starts shitting, and he starts talking nonsense again. He's like, these movies are trash and blah blah blah. He starts talking nonsense. So she's like, you know what? Fuck you. She calls that company and she says, I'll produce Dongman's movie. I'll produce it. It's fine. I'll produce it. And she says the reason for this is she wants to see Dongman make a movie. He's always going out and saying people's movies are shitty and da 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 da, but he's never even made a movie. He's always critiquing everybody in this world, but he's never even made one movie. She's like, I'll make you make a movie. Fine. Your script, I'll make it into a movie. Just so you can fail and see, and we can teach you, you bloody swine. Alright? In a fit of anger. So she's like, yes, I'll make you a movie. I will make you a movie. And everybody is shocked. Like, his movie's finally getting made. It's been 20 years. His movie's finally getting made. This show is just a chain of reactions of fate and interconnected. I'm always just on the edge of my seat. Because what do you mean the same movie for the past 9 episodes he's been trying to make is being made because this girl is this lady is angry, and she's like, you're gonna make a film today. Okay. Okay, whatever, bro. Okay, so now we get into this. Anna's mother. So remember the script that Anna's boss stole from Dongman's friend's wife, right? So this script was about a guy, right? And the guy was gonna be the top actor. Anna's mother being the top actress, she swoops in and she says, I want to play this character, make this character a woman instead of a man. They agree, they make this character a woman, this top actor loses the role. And then, obviously, Anna doesn't agree with this. Because at this point in time, Anna has now been credited as a co-writer. But not under her own name, under a pseudonym. Because this guy refused to credit her under her actual name because he really hates her for some reason. He has an inferiority complex when it comes to his ex-girlfriend Anna. Fine. But she doesn't care. She's like, as long as you credit me. So she uses a pseudonym and she's like, fine. That's like a writer name. And she's like, fine. Use that name, but I'm going to be a co-writer. And then she says, I don't want my mother in this film. They don't know it's her mother, right? But she says, I don't want her in this film. But she doesn't have a choice because, like, she's the top actress and they already agreed. So she replaces him, right? The top actor. The top actor's bummed about this. And again, fucking fate, guys. I keep going like, fate occurs once again. This top actor goes to the bar. And Dongman is busy like, Dongman says some shit to this guy, right? And then this guy's like, you know what, fine. I'll star in your movie. I'll even take half the amount I usually do to star in your movie. I'll star in your movie and I want to see it fail. Again, how does he keep getting shit like this? He gets a producer because they want to see him. He irritated the lady and she wants to see him fail. He gets the top actor because he irritated him and he wants to see him fail. At this point, fuck you, dog man. Like, God is on your side. God is here on your shoulder just giving you shit. I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck? But fine, Dongman says, sure, let's make this movie together. Right? He's shocked, obviously. Everybody's fucking shocked. Just like they were when the lady said she's gonna produce. Everybody's fucking shocked. Everything becomes interconnected with the show. Everything. Even, remember that actress I was talking to you about? She actually becomes friends with Dongman, right? And they start becoming friendly, and like they become friends, right? Because why did they become friends? I think she's working on the film that Dongman's friend. Remember the film that she came to say was trash? I think she agreed to work on that film. So then her and this producer became friends. But then she also became friends with Unya because Unya was like giving her real solid advice. And then also Dogman is friends with them also. So the four of them now just like a group of friends. The four of them. They're like tight at this point in time. So that's how that friendship occurred. Everybody's just becoming friends. Let me tell you more about Dongman's friend. Because Dongman's friend has some plot. Okay, if you thought he didn't have plot, he has plot. So Dongman's friend is making a TV show. And Dongman's friend really doesn't want to work with co-writers. Like he doesn't want a co-writer, he refuses. He's just like, fuck you. No. No co-writers. Right? But they are forcing him to have a co-writer. He interviews co-writers. The first co-writer he interviews is a girl, right? And she laughs at his terrible jokes. And like any guy who's insecure and is bad at his job and doesn't really make good movies and it's just really pathetic, his heart starts to flutter. He's married. His heart starts to flutter, and he hires her. And she is not a good writer. I want to let you know that she's not a good writer. The wife knows that this girl isn't a good writer. And she's like, why would you pick her? She's not a good writer. And he's like, no, I'm just going to pick her. I just want to. She's like, fine, whatever floats your boat. Wrong. Because anybody can tell that this relationship between him and his co-writer has started getting really personal. He laughs at all her jokes. He invites her everywhere he goes. Like, they're just always together. He just really invites her. Like he's catching feelings for her, right? And also to explain to you the relationship of him and his wife is very cutthroat. She's very honest. She's brutal. If she says something, she says it. She's not gonna say it again. And she also produces his films, so she is hard on him. She's like, listen, you're going to do this. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do this. Da, 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 da. Right? Most directors, I think, don't really like their producers because it's like the producer's job is to say, hey, get on track. You do this. You know what I mean? So that on top of her being your wife, on top of her being a very brutally honest person, on top of her being friends with Dongman, also, on top of you being really insecure of Dongman, this is just bad. You know what I mean? The relationship is a bit. So she sees that these two people are really close. Now, the climax to their big fight happens when one of their friends is like took out a movie. So she calls him and she's like, hey, this guy, our friend took out a movie. Are you gonna come? He's like, no, I'm not coming. I'm tired. I've been writing scripts all night. Blah 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 blah. She's like, okay, don't come. Then you can sleep. She's at the party. She's at the event. He walks in, right? And she's like, oh, you ended up coming? So she like calls him over. She's like, hey, I'm here. He doesn't see her because he's not looking for her. He walks in, walk, goes to his co-writer. And we learned that the co-writer called him and said, hey, I'm going to be at this party. Are you coming? And he said, yeah, I'll come. Even though your wife just asked you to come and you said no, but she called and you're like, yes. So the wife sees him go, sit with the co-writer, and they're laughing and kicking and ha 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 ha. He looks around and he finds her at the party. And he's like, shit. He knows he's in trouble. He goes to sit with her and he's like, hey, I was tired, but I'm not anymore. I was just like, let me come. And then she has like a tiny little mental episode where she's like, I don't know who you are, but I saw you with the co-writer and I think you two have chemistry, blah, blah, blah. I thought she was going insane because I was like, what the fuck? But she was like, I don't know what she was doing, to be honest. I don't know. But they walk out the bar and she basically explains that like she thinks that maybe she's at fault because writers need, by her words, not mine, freedom, I guess, to explore, like they get inspiration from real life things, and sometimes they need a fling in order to get inspiration for I, I don't know. Yeah, they need inspiration. So she says that it's not really his fault that he found that he likes his co-writer, because as a director you get your energy and your inspiration from other people and real life experiences, and by experiencing these things. So she says, as your producer, if you want to as your producer, I want you to make a really good film, right? So if she is needed to make you make a really good film, make it, flirt with her. Do It's fine, flirt with her all you want, And she says the most miserable people are the wives of directors, right? Direct quote, I think. So then she's like, later on, let's divorce. But for right now, just focus on your film. Flirt with her all you like. It's okay. But later on, let's divorce. He locks in and he fires her. He's like, girl, you have to go. I have to save my marriage. I have to save my marriage. My life. I have to pick my life above everything else. So then we're like, okay, I guess. And yeah, he says sorry and he doesn't want to divorce her or whatever. And then that gets resolved. I think within 2 episodes it gets resolved, which is nice. I didn't want it to drag on. So yeah. You've heard my compliments. Let me tell you my critique. I came to watch my favorite actress. That's what drove me to this. Without her, I wouldn't have watched that shit. So you're not gonna do her character dirty. And this is what gets me now. You introduce us to the character. To the female lead, right? Wow, okay, thank you for it. We like her. First 2 episodes, basically nothing. You've just given us Dongman. You give us basically nothing about her. Right? I'm like, okay. Let's think about this. Okay. You carry on, the show progresses. You introduce her mother. Right? We know that that's her mother for like 1 or 2 episodes, right? You don't have them meet. I was like, okay, fine, they finally meet. Né? Okay, fine. She finally meets her mother. And it's an interaction whereby she speaks to her mother and she's like, you left me, you abandoned me, and because you had a broke husband and a terrible life, not a terrible, but like a poor life, and you abandoned your daughter, and you went out there for fame. You married a rich man, and you let his daughter be your stepdaughter, and you raised her, and whatever. You would think after all this, a successful acting career, right? A rich husband, an actress daughter, like you're rich, you're swimming in wealth. That you'd stop being such a fucking bitch. That's what I got from the conversation. Like she's saying, you just hope you'd stop being such a so like typically coy and typically materialistic and typically girl, it's exhausting. But that's who you still are. You're still this miserable person with just you're miserable with a bunch of money. That's what you are, right? And we're like, okay, fine. I like that conversation. It goes back and forth. She's like, take money and move into this place. She says, no, I won't take your money. I refuse your money. And then she's like, but I'll take your money if I can use it to help my grandma. She takes the money, she uses it to help her grandma. Okay, fine. But after that, you would think that, listen, the whole reason she reached out was because people were going to find out that it was her daughter. And her daughter was living like a poor life. You would think that after you do that, you would make sure and ensure that after she takes her granny to the hospital, right? You take her into an apartment or a house. By all means, you think that would be the focal point of this, because that is the reason you reached out. No, she gets the card, and that's basically it. And we're like, what? We have to sit there and we have to go, huh? We find out that the media is going to expose that. It's gonna find out probably soon that that's the daughter, right? That's your daughter. I didn't feel that suspense. Like, you told me, But after that, nowhere did I feel that the media were constantly watching and were really close to exposing that's your daughter. No. Nowhere. I'm looking around. Nowhere, bitch. Nowhere. Right? The plot changed from that, and it went to all of a sudden she finds out that she wrote this, her daughter wrote, was part of writing the script that she's acting in, of the movie she's acting in. And she's like, you don't hide under whatever, I don't know, whatever, right? But she's like, motivates her to like harsh words to like, I don't know, man up or something, whatever, right? Okay, cool. But where does that happen? She's still using the pseudonym. And then they give us this scene where they're sitting at a table. I understand the intent of that scene. Like, okay, she's liberated. She finally, like, is gaining, I don't know, bitch, self-confidence. You can see her gain self-confidence, even with how she starts speaking to her boss. In the beginning, she was coy, just taking everything her boss said, but she starts talking back, right? So you're thinking, okay, fine. Okay, she reveals to her boss that she wrote the script, but nothing actually really changes, right? The media doesn't get on her ass and expose her for being the daughter, even though that was one of the central points. And I was like, why introduce that then? You don't move her into a bigger house. For what reason? I don't know. Why you wouldn't move your daughter into a bigger house, because you know the media's gonna tear your ass up for this. But obviously, you're not scared of that anymore because the media isn't doing shit. Why? I don't know. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I slept. I don't know. But I don't know why. Her biggest dream is becoming a mother. Okay, fine. But she still wants to be a producer. She still wants to be a That's why she came into this industry. She wants to be a producer. Okay, fine. What is this girl producing? They talk sometimes about like, okay, we should go just leave, but who's gonna work with like a not very successful, well-known producer, fine, whatever. Girl, nothing happens. She doesn't get a promotion. She just slightly works on this film, not even as a co-writer, but as the assistant of the producer. Because she's the boss's, I don't know if she's the boss's assistant, but she's just one of the minor writers or editors or producers or whatever she is. I'm sitting there like, what is her direction? You say her dream is to become a mother. You would think you'd give us maybe like a time jump into 30 years where she's a mother and she's accomplished her dream. Nope, no time lapse. So we don't even see her accomplish her dream. Her work goes nowhere. She basically made the male lead script what it was. It was fucking garbage before she stepped in and made it what it was. But then you tell us that she can't be credited because she was just editing it, I guess. And I'm like, okay, fine, fair. But give her something. This male lead gets a movie. Top actor is in the movie. We see him making the fucking movie. Like, we see every little thing about this nigga. Even his friend. We see the progression of him in his relationship. They get a resolution. Everybody gets a fucking resolution. Where is her resolution? The actress, I'm thinking her resolution is gonna be she's finally gonna enter a role, or she's gonna get a role that she really likes, or whatever. I'm thinking, girl, with this female actress also, what was her purpose? Cause finish her off, give her a plot line and finish her off. You don't do that. Girl, like, yes, you did the romance thing and fine, whatever. Okay, fine. That one wasn't even like fine, whatever, because like you just like you had her mother fix it. That's what actually hurts me. You didn't even let her fix it herself. You had her stepmother fix the situation for her, and then you're trying to show us that she was like, wow, what a good stepmother, or she was like she admires her stepmother and finally gets the resolution, or at least within that relationship. Again, okay, cool, but like, what is like? I don't understand what the problem is. What the fuck is the problem? This is your female lead character, but it feels like she's just there to say, go male lead, go male lead, go male lead. It feels like she has so much drive, so much talent, so much ambition, but it's only used to further him. I don't understand that. No resolution between her and her mother's relationship. They hate she hates her. And I thought her mother didn't care for her. But you let us know through little hints that, okay, she does care for her. And, okay, fine, whatever. She made it back. But you don't even give me anything about her mother, to be honest. You tell us that her husband could be cheating on her. You tell us that this actress's husband, rich husband, that she left her family for, could be cheating on her in America. And you don't even let us know if they're getting a divorce, if there's a resolution, if she's gonna what's going. You don't let us into her thoughts on that. None. You don't let us into her thoughts, right? She came out and she's reaching out to her daughter. Are they gonna keep talking? Did they cut each other off? What's going on? We don't know. We do not know. Is the female lead gonna continue making films and producing these big hits? Is she gonna take a bigger part in making the film that she fucking wrote the script for? Well, we don't know. Ask the fucking audience. But you can't ask the motherfucking audience because we don't know. What is going on? Like, I'm starting to rethink the rating I gave it. I gave it a 10 out of 10, but now I'm thinking, like, fuck. No, the actress was in the Friends movie. And then she came back to do press for that movie. But no, she doesn't even get a resolution acting-wise. Like, what? I don't understand how you could fuck up. You had 12 episodes. And all you've done in these 12 episodes is do a really good job on the male lead. The male lead, guys, a really good job. I loved what they did to him. Okay, the end was beautiful. Even his brother, one of the plot lines was his brother was... Also, another thing I don't like, man. His brother had a wife. And they had a child. Okay? He was gone for a while. Where did he go? I don't fucking know. You didn't tell me. But his brother left somewhere for a while. And then the wife put the daughter up for adoption. And when he came back, the daughter was already up for adoption. But you don't even explain to me where he went. Did they get a divorce? If so, why did they get a divorce? What happened? Why did she choose to give her daughter up for adoption? You don't tell me anything. You tell me he's suicidal. You tell me his daughter's gone. Okay, why is his daughter gone? Just given up for adoption. By who? By her mother. Why did her mother give her up for adoption? Why wasn't he there to stop it? He was away. Where was he? Where did he go? Why did he leave? I don't know. I'm in shock. I'm clutching my fucking pearls because I have no fucking idea. And then in the last 5 minutes or something, you're like the actress comes and she asks and she went to online and she was like, "Can you help me find this girl?" And they found the daughter. Like, okay, fine. That's not a bad ending for that. Like, I don't need to see him meeting up with his daughter. I just need to know that yes, he found his daughter. But then it's like, girl, like, I don't even know anything about the situation. Also, this actress kind of liked the brother, right? No resolution on that. Is she gonna keep flirting with him? Did she decide to give up? If she did, let me know. How about you show me her giving up? Did she like him seriously? If so, if she didn't like him seriously, why did she keep sticking him out? These are the things I'm talking about. Your two biggest female characters in the show, actually 3 including the mother, you fuck them up. 3 biggest female characters in the show, you fuck them up. But your male lead and your male lead's friend, no, let's give them plot. Let's give them this and this and this and this. I'm irritated. Even his brother, you fucked up explaining, but you give him a wrap up. You wrapped it up at the end of the day. What about your female leads? What about your female lead and your female supporting characters? I'm in a state of like in the end, she's like, I love seeing him happy Well, something along the lines of I like seeing him happy and blah blah. Bitch! 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 I changed my mind. I originally gave this a 10 out of 10. I'm gonna give this a 7. I had to take out 3 because you fucked up on your female leads. I'm gonna give this a 7. A 7.1. I'm gonna give you that one just to be nice. Because like, oh my gosh, you fucked up.